Hello, good afternoon. My name is Joby Cox, and today my presentation is on wealth inequality here in the United States. And it's just a quick photo just to show you guys some statistics of racial inequality and how it is rampant here in the U.S. as stated, and just show us even projected from 1983 to 2024, which is next year. Here's a short introduction to me. My name is Joby Cox. I'm a Bronx native. I'm a soon-to-be two-time college graduate. I'm getting my bachelor's in human services and community justice at the end of the semester. This is one of my final assignments. And I want to pursue a career in academic advisement or school counselor because those two jobs had an effect on me in high school and in college. My academic advisor in college and my school counselor in high school helped shape me into who I am today and who I am as a student, most importantly, and just try to help kids not lose sight of their goals and help that transition from high school or transitioning within high school to college and just be that person that those people were for me. All right, so what is the large scale social issue? The large scale social issue is wealth inequality and can be defined as uneven distribution of wealth, assets, and money to the population. Wealth and income inequality is one of the largest social issues here in the US and impacts people through the resources that they have, what they own, the wealth they attain, their financial services, and their finances. And I'm coming from a low income community, so I understand this large scale social issue, and I've seen it. And throughout this presentation, I'm going to evaluate effectiveness of proposed solutions that organizations have proposed that can help with this, and can they help turn the tide on this social issue? Why is wealth inequality important to me? Wealth inequality is important to me because I come from a low income community. I stated I see the struggle people of color experience due to not having equal wealth and income as other races, such as Asian Americans and white Americans. People dependent on public assistance and still struggling. This is one reason I mainly chose this issue. I feel like this issue gets overlooked, and homelessness and mental health I talked about more than this issue, but all three of those issues correlate with one another, with people on the verge of being homeless due to not having the finances that they want and they need to attain, or wealth and assets, or the mental toll that has on being a struggling family, not being where you want to be at financially, and how that weighs on you, thinking about how your bills are going to get paid monthly and how you're going to eat sometimes even at night. Why should this be resolved? Wealth inequality should be resolved due to its historical context and still being a major issue within today's society. Um, Starting back all the way from the 1900s and how it's still a large issue today. I'm a Guide to Statistics on Historical Trends and Income Equality by Chad Stone supports this ideology that there is still a large gap hundreds of years later. The best survey data show that the wealth held by the top 1% rose from 30% in 1989 to 39% in 2016, while the share by the bottom 90% fell from 33% to 23%. So it basically just shows that the rich is getting richer and the poor is getting more poorer over time, and there's not really no change occurring. Actually, it's even getting worse. And over a 25-year span, they continue to increase their wealth while others are decreasing little by little. And just reminded me of a Machiavelli quote that I heard one time from a documentary based on wealth inequality a long time ago. The reason there will be no change is because the people who stand to lose from change have all of the power, and the people who stand to gain from change have no power. The demographic impacted by wealth equality. Low income communities are impacted, and people who identify as African American or Latino are mostly impacted by this issue. Academic Journal, Wealth Inequality and the Racial Wealth Gap, gave statistics on the household difference. Looking at how white households hold 86.8% of the wealth in this country, and they account for 68.1% of households in that survey. But Black and Hispanic households hold only 2.9 and 2.8% of wealth, respectively, while accounting for 15.6% and 10.9% of the US population. So that just shows how there's a large drop off with wealth, and that's on. Here's just a photo, there's more statistics, just showing that income and wealth over time, looking in the state of St. Louis, looking at how Blacks are struggling below the 50,000 threshold, while white American families are thriving all above the 100,000 threshold. So here's some evidence-based interventions, also known as evidence-based solutions. Reparations was one that I found. Reparations is an intervention that can help make strides to close the wealth gap, paying those back who have had their rights violated or not receive equal treatment compared to others here in countries or in acts and stuff like that that happen over time or in history. So the article Closing the Racial Wealth Gap Requires Heavy Progressive Taxation of Wealth by Vanessa Williams. She brought up the idea of reparations to fix the wealth gap. A serious reparations investment will provide enormous economic stimulus to the economy as a whole and will infuse urgently needed funds in the households and communities that have suffered from chronic underinvestment. But taxation, and particularly heavy and progressive taxation of wealth, also has a critical role to play in achieving racial equality. So basically, the taxation will fund the reparations that people will receive and hopefully uplift those communities and people that are still struggling and that need that assistance. Increased tax is another one. Taxing the rich more and using those funds, as stated in the last one, but not using those funds for reparations, using those funds as programs and grants and loans and in that aspect, taxing the large millionaires. And it may lead to backlash from those people that are affected, not wanting to lose their wealth, have to give up more taxes that they're already given up. And the article, The U.S. Inequality Debate, went in depth on this. One tool for addressing income inequality that has received significant attention is a more progressive tax code, meaning the higher incomes are taxed at a higher rate than the lower ones. Even politicians and experts say that shifting more money from the rich to the poor will reduce inequality and benefit society overall. So as you can see in my last two solutions, that there's a little common trend with how it impacts society as a whole and the betterment of society, not just African Americans and Latinos or people that are in low income neighborhoods. Like it's helping everybody as a whole. Postal banking services was the last solution that I found. Affordable financial services to those who are in need of banking and eliminating extra fees from banks are like check cashing services and financial institutions. The article Eliminating the Black-White Wealth Gap is a generational challenge by Christian E. Weller and Lily Roberts elaborated on this possible solution. Postal banking would overcome a structural barrier for African Americans in the U.S. financial system and reduce the damage done in many Black holes and communities that regularly face predatory lenders and lose large shares of wealth. So I believe this could be very impactful because I come from a low income community where you see nothing but check cashing. You hardly even see any banks where people could take their money out fee free. Or you see these ATMs with these high prices, and then if you have a bank account, you have to pay your bank or your financial institution a fee as well. So it's like, for me personally, I'm losing about $7 to $10 just to withdraw $20 in the process, basically due to the fee from the store being $3 and the fee from my bank being $4. And I believe this can help many people save money over time and avoid these fees and help out the low income community a lot. So evaluation of the evidence-based solutions are the National African American Reparations Commission has a plan they have like a 10-point program plan of reparations and demands that they want for people of color or people of Native descent or people of Latino descent who have been underinvested in this country. It has some broad requests though, which are weaknesses that I pointed out. Its strengths though as well, with having direct reparations demands, but also some broad ones that are seen as weaknesses as well. So one is finance the planning and construction of holistic and sustainable villages with affordable housing and comprehensive cultural education, health and wellness, employment and economic services, function as a source of grants, loans for persons seeking affordable housing. This reparation request to me is too broad and not specifically addressing a way to accommodate people for wealth generation. The creation of these villages can be difficult because that is just broad, and that is like, who do you decide to go into these villages? And how do you differentiate the people who get in and not get in? And grants and loans that they also spoke on are, I feel like it's just a cycle, because we all know with some loans you have to pay back grants as well. Sometimes you even have to pay back And I feel like it'll just keep people in the cycle that they're already in now. Another evaluation is postal banking, and postal banking has helped people before people of color in the 1920s. It helped them have an advantage to grow economically over time, and it helped and worked before the Great Depression was in effect. The United States Postal Service has recently rolled out a potentially transformative new service known as postal banking. And this new pilot program, the United States Postal Service has provided select cities with financial services like check cashing up to $500 and receiving their money on a prepaid debit card. I feel like this can help and it will work, but the weakness to me is that this is a pilot program. So like, is it just going to be $500 and that's all you can take out, or is it going to grow over time as more people want to join the service or have postal banking, or will it grow as it elevates from the from the pilot program? And that's a weakness that I found, but I believe this solution can help. It's maybe overlooked because people are losing $2, $3, $5, $6, $7 in the process, but over time, those dollars add up, and it helps out a lot when you're getting your money fee free. This is just a photo just showing how postal banking services can help out a lot with small loans, mobile transactions, and all of those could possibly be fee free. Where I have a cash app and I have to pay $15 to withdraw $500. It's just like a check cashing service, but it's just mobile now. And that is something that is hurting and crippling communities because they're losing a lot of money in the process that they're not seeing. It's like you're losing money to gain your money or access your money or send out your money. So you're losing money to access your money in the process. So key points on the presentation: wealth inequality has been an issue for over 100 years, which is a fact. Black and Latinos are largely impacted by this issue from generation to generation. Wealthy people has continued to increase their wealth while others have decreased their wealth. Reparations is looked at one way to resolve this large-scale issue. Postal banking, progressive taxation are other solutions that can help. Black Lives Matter has adopted a postal banking theory to help people save money. And the National African Americans Reparations Plan has a 10-point program with ideas of reparations, but some of their reparation ideas are too broad. And here is another photo of some statistics that I brought up and just shows you how wealth is in this country. So in conclusion, wealth inequality is a major issue, and it's a historical issue too. And I hope one day that can come to an end. I hope people who have to take this class also choose this issue and expand on it and show a different perspective on it other than the one that I've showed. And hope one day that wealth inequality can continue to decrease, and more people of color can have assets or receive the right pay and just be treated almost as equal in society.